the dry side for that cleanup. Let's talk about this as we go in through the next several days. Look at how we are really going to warm things up for a lot of you. So we start today with close to about 150 million people above average. That spreads to about 152 on Monday. And by Wednesday, and 25 million people are going to be above average. So yeah, that heat is really going to spread out. Once again, it's going to be dry in a lot of spots too. So where we're talking cleanup efforts, that's going to be good. And that's down off towards Florida too. And again, along off towards the north and east here. So look what's going on. We have these high temperatures, 10 to 20 degrees above average. Now it is going to be warm working out there, that's for sure. And really, I could say hot in some spots. So like Texas, we're going to be dealing with that. And even down, of course, towards Florida. Now, the reason being is that we do have high pressure. We're going to stay under this. Now, high pressure will slowly start to work its way on off towards the east. And as it does that, you will get a little bit of relief across the southwest as you see that dip in the jet stream there. That's going to pull in some of that colder air that's coming from Canada and all the way up towards Alaska, too. So as we go into your Monday, we're going to stick with those highs above 10 to 20 degrees above average there. And then even sticking with it down off towards the south, we'll have those highs about 5 to 15 degrees above average. So bottom line is that we're going to stay warm, and then it just continues to shift. If you love the warm temperatures, then I'm going to say that it's going to share the love. If you don't, then yeah, not so much, right? But we're going to be dealing with this as we head towards Wednesday. Look what happens, though, back off towards the west there. You start to see and feel that colder air really moving in. But before all that happens, we do have that widespread warmth and records. So not only are we just going to be above average, we're talking about records that could be set. So let's talk about these. In 87 degrees is the forecast, the record 86 that was set back in 1927. Going down off towards Wichita, 88 degrees is the forecast. 83 is the record set back in 2016. So that's smashing the record, not just breaking it. Let's head into your Tuesday because we're going to be dealing with more of the same. Dallas forecast about 91 degrees. That record 88. Todd set back in 1979. These records that could be broken, just crazy. Like I said, smashing them, not just breaking them.
And it's funny when you talk about 1979.
Let's talk about what's going on right now, because we do have this next system that's going to be diving in here. This disturbance is going to continue to work its way on off towards the east. You can just see this big ball of energy there, and this is going to bring us some much needed rain as we head into midweek. So we do have this cold front here, and we're going to have the moisture continue ahead of it. Again, good news, but not necessarily if you are going trick-or-treating, right? So we can see what's going to be happening Tuesday through Thursday. Halloween is on Thursday, and we do have plenty of rain that's going to be coming in here. And again, remember, this is going to continue to work its way on off towards the east. So let's go ahead and follow this. I'm going to put this into motion for you now. And we can see as we head in through your Wednesday morning, we can see that activity, Minneapolis back down off towards Oklahoma City, a few showers and thunderstorms erupting there. And then we head into your Thursday. Early in the morning, we can see this swath from Alpena all the way back down off towards Dallas. Shreveport, you're going to be in on this too. And then as we go into the evening on your Thursday, this is where we're going to be dealing with some wet weather here. So the timing's at 10, so this is why I kind of still highlighted where you think it's going to be dry. But no, we could still be dealing with some rain, some shower activity from Columbus all the way back down off towards Dallas. Little Rock, you could be in on this as well. And this is going to be the scenario. So you might want to think about those costumes already in terms of maybe an umbrella, maybe Mary Poppins. That might be a good one for you because some spots may need it. But a lot of spots as we look across the U.S. here, we need that rain as we are in a drought. A lot of places are in extreme drought, Todd. So, yeah, we need more rain to come our way. Over to you.
You just want the rain.
Red tide.
Yeah, that's right. So joining us right now, we're to talk about it, is Dr. Tracy Fanara. And we're going to be talking about the red blooms here. So again, thank you for joining us. So yeah, water samples last week confirmed that there's a plume of red tide offshore Sarasota, Manatee, Pinellas County beaches. So what should residents be concerned about, and what about businesses as well?
Well, this is a toxic
impact on the red tide. Helene and Milton both just really stirred up water in this area. Can you talk a little bit more about the impact that the red tide plume had with these hurricanes?
Oh, Florida red tide is
rolls on. I'm Lynette Charles alongside Tide Borick, and millions across the northern tier are enjoying a nice cool down this weekend.
Yeah, but don't hold your breath as the warmth begins to build back in. I know it's late October. It just doesn't really feel like that.
It doesn't.
We're going to talk more about that coming up as well.
We are. So it plays a crucial role in the fall color we all love this time of year.
Yeah, to talk more about this year's fall colors and how the weather has been impacting it all, let's bring in Evan Fisher, the of ExplorerFall.com. And Evan, thank you for joining us. Let's go right ahead ahead and jump right in. Let's talk about droughts. And we're seeing a lot of
Weekend recharge, and it's time now to talk about the tropics. I know you're like, I don't want to talk about the tropics anymore. We have good news, and there's some bad news. The good news is that there's 11% left, so that is on the lower side of things. The bad news is the fact that it's still 11%, right? So we go all the way to November 30th, so we still do have a few more days. Good news, too, is the fact that no tropical development expected in the next 7 days. But check out what we are watching around the Pacific. Hurricane Christy, this has been a powerhouse hurricane there, and we still do have an area to watch as well. So still kind of active, and we're going to continue to watch the tropics right into next week. So look what's going on. We do have a low pressure that may form in the Caribbean next week. It could meander and move slowly beyond next week. And then the details on the potential track intensity still uncertain at this time. So that's why you still need to keep it tuned to the Weather Channel. We're going to continue to update you on what's going on. Check out the GFS model with this. So we're looking for some low-level spin here. And Friday, November 1st, right? So as we go into next week, we start to see a little bit of something happening. I circled it right there as we move in through the weekend. So we're going to continue to monitor this. We have to keep our eyes peeled. We look at the next model, the Euro. Euro kind of picking up possibly on some of the same things, but again, there's still, divergence there. So that's why you just need to keep it tuned so we can continue to update you, because there is something that is going to form. Now, again, when we talk about the probability of tropical cyclone formation, I really goes here. So around the Caribbean, this is where we're talking for the most part. And again, that was for October 30th. Now we head towards November 6th through the 12th, and still more of the same. So that was about a 40% chance, and this one's about a 20% chance. The bottom line is what I'm saying. There is still a chance, my friends. And again, the area will be around the Caribbean. Now, there's still going to be some rain to come over the next 10 days, and we can see that most of that rain is going to be south of Nicaragua there. We can see up to a foot in some spots, and to the north of that, maybe about 5 to 8. As we head into late October, and that's what's going on now, this is our concern. But, of course, you can see some dots out here as well, the storm origins. But look at this one right here, 1950. This is when we've been watching these storms develop. I will say, Todd, Patty, Raphael, Sarah, Tony, Valerie, and William, 6 more names. And hopefully we won't get to that. But you know what? We have an alternate list if that does happen somehow.
Yeah, I just hope that we don't even go anywhere.
Patty, exactly.
I'm sure Patty's very nice. I just don't want to meet her at all.
Yeah. And some spots, yeah, we're going to look really nice in Halloween. Some others, though, going to need some type of a raincoat across the area where we're going to be watching that on top of that costume, something that we always hated, at least I did, and I wanted to show my costume. I know you guys do too. So as we go into Thursday, we are going to be looking at some cooler air back across the Pacific Northwest, and then look at the warm air across the Southeast. We will watch that in some spots of the Mid-Atlantic too, and then right in the middle, we could be dealing with some rain coming in. So highs 5 to 10 degrees below average back across the upper Midwest there, and we're going to see more of the same further to the south as we continue. Look at the 90s on your Thursday. That is just hot. A hot Halloween for sure. We're going to be seeing some 80s as well. But then we do have that rain that could impact some areas around Cincinnati. We can see this around New Orleans. Dallas, you could creep in on that as well as we go through time. So again, have an alternate costume, if you will, because you may need it in a lot of spots. Chicago, you may squeak one out, but Houston, you could be dealing with that rain as well. About the dryness, the drought, we need the rain, but we also want to stay on the drier side and stay on the warmer side so we can work for the recovery. And we are going to continue to up the ante, if you will. So by Wednesday, we're going to be looking at about 226 million people that are going to be above average. So yeah, could be outside. Again, the shorts, the t-shirts, this is what we're looking at. Even the tank tops, look at that down off towards San Antonio. We're looking at numbers that will be in the 90s as we do have the high pressure. That's what's in control of our weather. If you want the cool air, the colder air, you have to head further off to the north. That's where it's bottled up now with that jet stream. We will start to see that dip in the jet stream, though, and as that happens, this area of high pressure is going to continue to move toward the east. So we're still going to have the dip, which brings in the cooler air back off towards the southwest, but then we still have that ridge that will continue to build in across portions of the northeast and the southeast, too. So as we go into your Monday, we're still talking about high temperatures that are going to be well above average, and then by your Tuesday, you can see it continues to spread on off towards the east, and then we start to see some of the blues and some of those purples start to build back in. So we will have some some cold. We will have some warmth. It is going to be a ride of the century. So just buckle up, because it is going to be a rough go of things, because we're going to be dealing with not only warmer temperatures, but we're talking about record warmth, and this is going to be widespread. So let's get down to it. Our first stop goes to Little Rock, right, where we are going to be forecasting 87 degrees for your Monday. The record set back in 1927, 86 degrees. And even Wichita, 88 degrees is what we're forecasting. 83 is the record. We'll be smashing that. Look at Del Rio, Texas. 91 is the forecast there. 88, the record set back in 1979. And even over towards Flint, Michigan, we're going to be watching for records there. State Board of Elections, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate that. So what kind of challenges have you and your team had to work through because of Hurricane Helene?
Initially it was.
Any help with names?
Yes, we're available.
I was going to say, because we do our naming committee as well. And that is really hard to come up with names.
I mean, that whole process is cool. I never knew that.
It is something that I never even thought of that. But I can totally see you come up and you got to have something that's catchy.
Exactly.
But you don't want it to be something where you're kicking yourself. Oh, I should have thought of this one.
Exactly.
3 years later.
All we do is eat the delicious apples, and that's a name, a delicious apple.
That's right. Yeah, the Red Delicious. That is good.
Well, checking last week was tough to watch, for sure. All right, let's talk about that Halloween outlook, because I know a lot of you are on the edge of your seats wondering, what is my costume going to be? Do I need a coat over the costume? Do I need an umbrella? Well, we are going to be sandwiched in. I will say, you'll see this area of low pressure, this system coming in between cooler air, warmer air. So some of you are going to get in on that in terms of below average temperatures off to the north and west, and then the highs are going to be above average down off towards the southeast and the mid-Atlantic. So let's stick here where we're going to be seeing 90s and 80s across the board here. But then as we hop over across the Pacific Northwest, you're really going to need to bundle up. It's going to be cold. And then again, along this track right here, this is where we could be dealing with the rain, and this is where you're going to need that rain gear. Unfortunately, you never want to rain right on Halloween, but we could see this around Cincinnati, back off towards Dallas as well. Even Houston, you could be getting in on this as we go into Halloween night as well. So that's going to be the name of the game, Todd. Some people will be on the wet side, some folks won't.
Yeah, that's right. So we're talking ghosts and